इदानीं वयं द्वितीयदिनस्य तृतीयदिनस्य चतुर्थसत्रे वयं स्मः। अस्मिन् सत्रे यथा प्रातः वयं ह्यः अपि आचार्याणां KVSN मूर्तिमहोदयानाम् अनुसन्धानविषये बहु सम्यक् मार्गदर्शनं वयं श्रुतवन्तः। एवमेव अस्मिन् सत्रेपि आचार्याणाम् अद्यतनम् आचार्याणाम् अन्तिमं सत्रं वर्तते। अस्मान् एवमेव अनुसन्धानविषये इतोपि मार्गदर्शनं करिष्यन्ति। आचार्याणां कृते करतालनेन स्वागतं कुर्मः। आचार्यान् प्रार्थयामि मञ्चस्य उपरि आगच्छन्तु, अस्माकं कृते मार्गदर्शनं कुर्वन्तु।
This is a fourth lecture of mine, and I'm sure that you have been sitting in this hot summer. Now summer has already started. So we are questionnaire. Question? ठीक है। वही है। So, almost we are 10-15 minutes late now, but we are going to complete it. Morning we have already discussed around 4 tools, and another 4 tools we are going to discuss now, as quickly as possible because the time is approaching, and if possible at the end, Sir has asked some questions. In this we are going to discuss about the 4 important tools, and this is the plan of presentation. Next. So observation, checklists, rating scales, and attitude scales. So these are all 4 important So first is observation. Question. Observation is question.
Rating scale.
Sir, question is
Rating scale, attitude, questionnaire and checklist.
yeah. First it's not observation, questionnaire. Next go there. Yeah. It is questionnaire. So actually we are going to give the questionnaire to the people and to get the responses. What is a questionnaire? Is nothing but is a tool to gather the information from a selected sample of the study. It is written, observation, interview, they are all the non-written tools. But here it is a written tool administered to the subjects of the sample. Particularly when you go for the psychological, educational, social issues. For that, if you want information, this tool is being used. Next. What is the definition? Barn and David has given the definition. A systematic compilation of questions that are submitted to a sampling of population from which information is desired. So you have to select a sample, and for that sample we are going to give these questionnaires. Nowadays, after coming Google Forms, it has become very easy, and within minutes we are going to send to the people. Earlier, those who are far, we are sending these questionnaires through the post, and sometimes people are going to the particular schools or areas where they are administrating personally. When you do it personally, that has an advantage. When you do posturally, 2-3 people will sit and do the job. So that's the reason why the question of validity is also there. According to Good and Halt, questionnaire is a device for securing answers to questions submitted to the sampling of the population. And 2 types of questionnaires are there. One is a closed questionnaire, second is a open questionnaire. Next. In the closed questionnaire, in the sense, there is no freedom for the person who is actually responding, because answers are already given. Questions and answers will be there in the sheet. But in open questionnaire, he has the freedom to express himself. That is the major difference between these two. Sometimes what we do is, to get the proper information, we combine both. Open questionnaire and closed questionnaire together will give. Because whenever students join in our university, I used to make a survey on this one. First, closed questionnaire I used to give. They put the tick marks. Then open question. Some things we require from their mouth. So therefore, open questionnaire will be given 3 or 4 questions. After that, we analyze and prepare a report. Why did they join? So have you done any survey research here? Why students are joining here? Why students are joining in Vidyapith? We want document. All these things will not speak. So for a survey, a questionnaire is to be prepared and administered to the newly joined people. Whether how did you come to know about this institute? Either advertisement through their website, through the mouth of the people. Like this, we are actually taking the information, which is more effective. For you, there is no problem. Private institute wants in which paper I have to give the advertisement number of times. So that they will ask this one from Hindu or from Times of India. So accordingly, their advertisement rate will increase. And next is, you have to select the answers which are given. The respondent cannot have freedom to write the answers. They include a set of questions. And he is asked to put a tick mark. For example, when you are giving a questionnaire, and there itself they will give you 0 to 11. That is what the Guilford has actually made that one. 0 to 9, 1 to 9, or 3-point scale will be used. 5-point scale can be used. 7-point scale can be used. So in this questionnaires, scales will be more. In attitude scales, usually we don't go to, usually for Likert technique only 5-point scale is being used. Nowadays they are using it 4-point scale also. Because 5-point scale, when you use it, there is a problem of central tendency. सबसे बीच में जो है उसके ऊपर लगा देते हैं. Either this or either that. Now 4-point scale or 6-point scale, if you use it, it will be difficult. So that's the reason why now there is a change in the attitude of the people who are forming these questionnaires. Next, advantages. It is suitable for giving the responses easily. क्योंकि उनको उतना लिखना लिखना कुछ नहीं है, बस टिक करो जल्दी 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 टिक कर देंगे. अब उसके बाद large information can be obtained in a short time. Observation में नहीं होता है, interview में नहीं होता है, लेकिन इधर होता है. Based on responses, effective analysis could be done. You can quantify it very perfectly. Total number of scores will come. What score he has got? What is his average percentage? You can easily find out through this. Calculation is easier here. And the role of the questions is unique in bringing the respondent near to the subject. And next is information can be put in tables, and also you can record it easily. And they have more objectivity than compared to the other questionnaires or interviews or observation. When you compare with them, here objectivity will be very high. What are the limitations? Flexibility is less. अब जो चाहे वो नहीं लिख सकते हैं. उसमें 3 options देगा, उसी में किसी एक को टिक करना है. Or no freedom to the respondent. That's another problem. No scope to exhibit the creativity of the individual. Here though, nowadays what happened earlier, when you speak about objectivity, people used to say there should not be second answer. Only one answer should be there for the question. But today, in 2005, National Curriculum Framework, constructivism has come. There the student has the ability to create the new things. I will give you one example here. The capital of course Andhra Pradesh is a controversy, leave it. The capital of Telangana is dash. What is the answer? Hyderabad. I am a student, I did not write Hyderabad, I wrote something. Do you give mark or not?
No.
You don't give mark, you put 0. Right? This is right earlier days. After constructivism, I say the capital of Telangana is a very old city. क्या इसमें कुछ गलती है क्या? क्यों मार्क करती है हमको? The capital of Hyderabad is on the banks of the river Musi. The capital of Andhra Pradesh is beautiful. अरे यार कितना चाहिए उतना लिख सकते हो तुम, सबको मार्क देना पड़ेगा आपको. Hyderabad is not wrong. If we won't write Hyderabad, this is a scope for the student to use his creativity, use his brain. Because creativity is nothing but how you think in a different way. What is Mahabharata? Please tell me. What is Mahabharata? Anybody? What is Mahabharata? एक sentence में बताओ हमको.
It's epic.
It's an epic. क्या है महाभारत? हाँ? Okay. Next. What is Mahabharata? अरे जल्दी बताओ यार.
What I see the relationships in my family.
Okay, your family, you come back. It's a bit different.
What I feel that is Mahabharata.
Okay, ठीक है. और Mahabharata is a fight between. It is a war fight between brothers, cousins. Mahabharata is a fight between dharma and adharma. और अकबर को पूछे थे उसके बोलने के बाद क्या महाभारत है, वो बोला है कि एक बूढ़ा और एक लड़का का कहानी है महाभारत. बस खत्म. You see, thought process will vary. How thought process will vary, that is the creativity, no scope here to express. कौन है बूढ़ा? बूढ़ा कौन है सर? No. भीष्माचार्य उसका बूढ़ा. लड़का कौन है? अभिमन्यु. बस ये दोनों का कहानी है महाभारत. और Dr. Prema, she has given a definition of Mahabharata. It is a Mahabharata is a medicinal book where 100 diseases were cured with 5 elements. And she has written this much of book. Draupadi was given phosphorus. Duryodhana was given venereal diseases. Phosphorus is to be administered for the eradication of venereal disease. She has given excellent explanation about the book. That is the different way of thinking of the people. We are thinking superficially, not superficial thinking. Deep thinking is required for, I'll give you another wonderful example for this. What is this? This is a very simple conversation I'm telling you. What is the conversation? I asked him, what is this? He has given reply, pen. What did you understand by this? What is your inference out of this conversation? Simple conversation. Quick.
He is knowing about the thing.
Writing instrument.
Huh?
Writing instrument.
He is
No,
knowing
no.
about the thing.
A conversation में, I'm not asking you the question. A conversation के बारे में आपको क्या समझ में आया है?
Question to answer.
I have asked a question, he has given an answer.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Anything?
Knowing about the thing.
Very good. He knows what is there in my hand. Wonderful. Next.
Knowing the thing.
He knows about the thing. Same thing. Or देवियों बोलिए. अरे सज्जनों.
Set of words.
Color, size and shape.
Set of words.
और
He may be having same pen with him. That's why he could identify.
that you cannot say na. With the simple
He is
two.
able to identify.
Your answer or deduction should be based on only the conversation, not more than that.
Understanding.
So he has an understanding about the object which I have shown. Or
Express the thought. Express the thought.
or
By seeing he said, but he's not touching words at the assumption.
so our thought process is quite superficial. It's quite superficial. Understand? Deep thinking means not putting a dig and sitting inside and thinking about this. It's not deep thinking. Going into the subterranean depths of the knowledge. Now the question is, if you ask a philosopher the same question, what is it means? With this conversation, he told, it is proved that he is not blind. अरे यार उसका थॉट प्रोसेस ही अलग है. ठीक है, अभी तक हम बोले कि आपने ये दिखा है, वो देखा है. अगर देखा है तो आंसर करेगा, नहीं देखा तो कैसे करेगा? It is proved that he is not blind. That is the. And the second one told, it is proved he is not dumb. नहीं तो आंसर नहीं आएगा. It is proved that he is not deaf. He is neither dumb, nor deaf, nor blind. देखो कितना अलग है. और एक बोला था, वो बोला कि नो सर इट इज नॉट राइट. देखो लॉजिक का मतलब ऐसा होता है, जब आप सब लोग इतना हंसे हैं, तालियां मारे हैं आंसर को, अभी वो दूसरा बोला है कि ये करेक्ट नहीं है, क्योंकि पूरा डार्क कर दो. अभी पूछो सेम क्वेश्चन दिखा के उसको, व्हाट इज दिस, कैन ही आंसर? नो. इसका मतलब है वो ब्लाइंड है, वो डफ है, वो डम है? नहीं, तो रॉन्ग. ठीक है. तब उससे पूछे, अरे भाई फिर तो क्या तेरा इन्फ्लुएंस क्या है? So he has given, it is proved that light is falling on the object. If light won't fall on the object, he cannot give the answer. So now three things you can infer just with a small common conversation of two sentences. One is, light is falling on the object. Second is, he is neither dumb nor blind nor deaf. Third is, he has the knowledge of the object which I have shared.
Yes, exactly.
That is going deep and deeper into the knowledge. इसका मौका इधर नहीं होगा. क्वेश्चन है. Now, it takes time to construct. ऐसा बड़ा क्वेश्चन बनाने में टाइम लगेगा. It's more time consuming. चलो. And open question है. इधर आपको जो जितना आपका vocabulary है, वो सब इधर आप लिख सकते हैं इसमें. तो there is a chance for creativity. There is a chance for showing of the beauty of the your vocabulary. For example, if you say, when you are teaching English language to the people, exact right word must be used at the right place. Right word must be used at the right place. Am I right or not? So, when you are using the right word, a beautiful lady saw a handsome boy and moved her eyelids up and down for several times, I told her. अरे क्यों? वो जो रोमांटिक टच होता है ना, वो मर गया. लेकिन जो बोलना है हम तो बोल चुके हैं, जो आपका सीखना है वो तो आपको समझ गए हैं. लेकिन ये moving the eyelids up and down for several times means the beauty of the romanticism is totally lost. The beautiful lady of the fluttering of her eyes hot through the handsome boy. రాధా నిన్ను ప్రేమిస్తు రాధా ప్రేమిస్తాను ఎందుకు ప్రేమించదు రాధా ఒత్తు కావాలి అక్కడ. You have to put a stress on second syllable. So therefore, the thing is that where you have to put the stress and where you should not. This is very important. Open-ended questions. It is easy to construct these questions. They will give you a question and you have a liberty to answer those things. Next. And advantages of the open questionnaires, because it is sometimes unexpected answers which you get. As I told you earlier, the way they perceive, that is totally different for us and that may be exhibited by them, which we never expect. हम सोचते हैं कि बच्चे को कुछ पता नहीं है, वो हमसे भी बहुत इंटेलिजेंट है. एक बार मैंने तीसरी कक्षा बच्चों को पढ़ा रहा था. एक क्वेश्चन है उसमें, भारत देश को वो नाम कैसा आया है? आंसर है बुक में. सो शकुंतला और दुष्यंत का जो लड़का है भरत, और उसके नाम के ऊपर अपना देश को भारत देश बोलते थे. And he was looking at me with a suspicion. I understood. He was a genius, that boy was. Sir, I have a doubt. Then I saw his face and I understood. क्या? सर थोड़ा डाउट है मुझे. क्या है? अरे भारत के पहले भारत देश नहीं है क्या? अरे क्या? तो सही बात है. फिर क्या बुलाते थे? The question. Just the third standard boy. So don't think, don't underestimate the students. They are more intelligent than us. We have to learn from them. Okay. Then I asked him, you only tell the answer. He told Bhartakandi that Vinayaka Vratakalpam he studied well. Bhartakandi, Bhartadese, Hindu Dese, Aryavartam. ये सब बोला था उसने. मैंने बोला नहीं. एक साहित्यिक उसमें मैंने कभी पढ़ा था लकीली. उसका नाम है अजनाभदेश बोलते थे. Aju means Brahma. It is a land of where Brahma is born, so it may be called as Ajanavadesh. Even Burma is called as Burma. Brahma has actually born there, it's called as a Burma. That was the name of that one. Aju means goat. India is a land of cattle. Maybe it is called as Ajanavadesh. So then he said, then what is the correct answer? Again he asked me. I said, there is no derivation of that. These are all the various names which were given. Then he said, so comparatively it is easy to prepare the questions and also give scope for the vocabulary, style of expression of the people. All these things are possible here. Next. And limitations. जो आंसर लिखते हैं उसको एसेस करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है इसमें ओपन एंडेड क्वेश्चंस में. Whether you give for marks for the vocabulary or for expression or for the content, I will give an example. I went to Indian Statistical Institute. One professor was evaluating papers. The students will be 20 to 25. He has taken first question paper and first question he has given marks, then put aside. Second paper he has taken, first question evaluated. Third he has taken, first question of all the 25 papers he has evaluated. Then I asked him, sir, what is it? He has written very well. Out of 10 marks, if I give 10 marks, the other person wrote better than him and excellent solution he has given. कितना देना है उसको? किसी को भी 10 देना है, तो both are equal? No. That is actual evaluation. You have to evaluate like that. लेकिन हम तो क्या देख के ही नहीं मार्क देते हैं. फिर क्या है? क्या बात है? दूसरे को दे दो 4. समटाइम्स क्या होता है, एक टीचर ने दे दिया 5 मार्क वैक्यूम मार्क, उसने 8 दे दिया, सोचा है कि 10 मार्क का है कुछ. So therefore 1 1 1 because it's a comparative. आपने इसको 10 के आउट ऑफ 10 दे दिया है और दूसरा बढ़िया लिखा है और नया सॉल्यूशन दिया है, उसको कितना दोगे तुम? इसीलिए all he has done, after that he reduced it to the first fellow and then if he is doing a wonderful job, he was given. That's the way they evaluated that. Right? Next, for analysis it's difficult to analyze the open-ended questions. And the responses may be quite lengthy. Unless and until you specify that, essay questions very difficult to give the marking to the essay questions. Objective type questions it's easy to evaluate. But essay questions also can be made objective the way you ask the question. Next, the length of the question should be more or less same. And the sequence of the question must follow the psychological maxims. Easy to difficult, known to unknown, and concrete to abstract, local to national, so on and so forth. Next, characteristic. And the simple, easy, understandable language to be used. Care is to be taken, avoid the printing error. अभी जो printing error so हो गया है तो बहुत मुश्किल आ जाता है. उसका क्या meaning है ये भी difficult. Through context to some extent we can actually assume, but some extent it is difficult to assume even through the context. And there should be only one answer to the question, not the multiple answers. but it is now not accepted. And now care is to be taken while using the double negative. Double negatives should not be used. And the question master attract the respondent, or otherwise he will get bored. Next, mechanical feature. Quality of paper should be good. लेकिन अपने जो एग्जाम का है वो पेपर तो इतना बेकार पेपर दिखते हैं, उसके ऊपर लिखने से you will find that the pen is going through that. And print should be very clear. Font should be very clear to the people. Then only the readability will be increased. Printing errors ज़्यादा होने से बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है. And clear direction should be very, very clear. And proper alignment of the questions should be there. These are all the various mechanical features. क्योंकि पहले बुक लेने में, बुक को रिव्यू करने में फर्स्ट देखते हैं मैकेनिकल फीचर. कवर पेज कैसा है? बढ़िया रहता है कवर पेज. और उसको टर्न करो, the newsprint paper only will be there once you are turning out. Or print will be very, very light. ऐसे पढ़ने से ये क्या पढ़ते हैं फिर वो. That's the problem. Next, construction of a good questionnaire. First, the purpose should be clearly in mind, and the language very simple, clear, lucid, candid language is to be used. And उसके बाद information level of the respondents का background क्या है, उसी के हिसाब से हमको questions बनाना है. Or social acceptance of their responses. So they should be approved in the society. And a leading question should not be, is elephant big? Then he says yes or no.
Yes.
उसका thought process कुछ नहीं होता है इसमें. They are all called as a leading questions. Thought-provoking questions you have to ask the students, not the leading questions. Next, sequence of questions. एक के बाद उसका coherence should be there. And then the form and type of questions. And then length of the questionnaire should be not more than 30-35 questions maximum, not 100 questions. Some people do it questionnaire with 80 questions, 70 questions. It's very difficult to answer that kind of questions. People will get bored after answering 20-25. They'll put it. So subject 24. Next. And experts' opinion we have to take after preparation of this. You have to take the opinion of the experts, and they will say this should be changed and this should be removed. Preliminary tryout of the questionnaire is to be done, and the validation of the questionnaire should be done with any of the method which is prescribed. Reliability with the split-off method or parallel method or alternative method, whatever might be the method. Administration of the questionnaire and analysis and interpretations of the questionnaires. These are the things which we have to do. And then coming to the checklist. Usually checklists are widely used in special education rather than general education. In the special education, this kind of questions cannot be answered by children who are moderately having the problem. For them, only checklist will be used there. Because most of the questionnaires, when you see in the special education, they are checklists only. Right? And educational surveys and school laboratory about the school, you are doing a case study about a particular school, then checklists will be used widely. Next. So checklist is a simple device consisting of a prepared list of items. Continuous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 building. What is the total area of the what you call ample accommodation is available to the students? Yes or no? Right or wrong? So putting the tick there, and after each item, space is provided to the observer to indicate the present or absent, and yes or no. This kind of things will be used here. The responses to be checklist items, they are not the opinions. They are not the judgments. They are only the facts. What is a fact? Fact is a fact to everybody, which is universal in nature. The red is blood is a fact. The sun rises in the east is a fact. The building has 5 rooms is a fact. The laboratory has no equipment is a fact. Okay. So next, construction of the checklist. When you are, what is your purpose? Accordingly, you have to prepare the questions, show to the experts, and take in a logical and psychological way. They are to be arranged. And researchers must decide the form in which the responses, whether you want yes or no to be written, or you have to put the tick mark, or you have to put the into mark. You have to specify the directions in this class. Next. And after getting it, how many yes came and how many no actually came, all these things you have to count and give the weightage to them and convert that into a particular number. And then you can say, these are all the things available in that particular score. In an educational survey, these are the people. For example, he is making a survey how the learning performance of the students of the 5th class. So first, in language, whether are they able to read the book? Yes or no? And spellings, yes or no? You see, like that you have to write all the things about the language. What is the for all the students you have to take that, and you have to consummate the results, and then you have to teach that. Once I went to Paderu, a remote place, a Girijan area that is, where for English teachers around 75 teachers are there. For them I gave a training program for 5 days, how to teach English in the classroom. Right? And there, one teacher has come. He is actually just intermediate passed only. And he said, sir, MPs and other people have come, but I am not happy. You please come to my school and see that my students' performance. Then I said, okay. Then I told the project officer, AS officer, please arrange one vehicle. And a headmasters को मैंने पूछा था पहले, अरे भाई इंग्लिश में बहुत सारे लोग फेल हो रहे, क्यों हो रहे? The first question I asked, how many people are really interested to teach English? Only 3 hands raised थे, बाकी लोग नहीं थे. क्यों? क्योंकि बाकी का एक ही बुक रहता है. इधर तो टेक्स्ट रहता है, नानटेल रहता है, ग्रामर बुक रहता है, वर्कबुक रहता है, वो सब कौन करेगा ये काम? आज स्टूडेंट्स को समझ में नहीं आता है, फेल्यूर ज्यादा होता है, इसको मेमो ज्यादा आता है. That's the reason they are not interested to teaching it. But inevitable, so that they are. Then I told him, sir, these are all Girijan people. What to teach to them and how do they understand English? No, they cannot understand English. It's not possible to teach them. Then I said, okay, all right. And we went from Paderu, another 15-20 kilometers inside that school was there. It is a multiple, actually multi-class school. Only in one section all the people are there. Then 1 to 5 textbooks were given, and any student who is there in the class was able to spell, give the spelling of any word in any textbook. Either 1, 1st standard, 2nd standard, 3rd standard, 4th standard, 5th standard. They were able to do that. And he asked them to recite a poem. Beautifully they have recited a poem with stress and intonation. To make it, I'll give you one example. I was interviewing Telugu teachers. One lady has come. I told her to enchant one poem which you like. She was reading the poem. Then I said, I asked you to but you cannot sing the poem, not reading of the poem. Sir, what is the difference between this? We want meaning is more important or rhythm is more important? She asked me in the interview. I said, okay, very good. Your idea is good. खाना हो गया क्या? मैंने पूछा उससे. वो बोले कि हाँ खा ली. अच्छा, दाएं हाथ से खाए या बाएं हाथ से खाए? मैंने बोला बाएं हाथ से कैसे करते? दाएं हाथ से कितना है? अभी रात से बाएं हाथ से खा लो. खाना इंपॉर्टेंट है, हाथ से इंपॉर्टेंट तो थोड़ी है ना. खाओ बाएं हाथ से. She was looking at me and waited. So it is not like that. A poem is a poem and prose is a prose. That difference should be exhibited very, very clearly. Or otherwise, that particular language beauty will not be expressed. So it may be what you call Lord Tennyson's men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. So it has a beauty. And in a similar way, when I went there, all students are speaking sentences in English, not the words. अरे यार, जब हेडमास्टर्स को पूछा, अभी बोलो, तू बोला कि पाडेरे में बात नहीं कर सकते, ये तो इंटीरियर विलेज है, कैसे वो लोग अभी बात कर सके हैं? बोलो अभी. इसका मतलब है, you have no will to teach, and the teacher has a will to teach. That makes a difference. Then ask him, how did you make them to speak good English? Then he told me one beautiful method. He told. He asked all the students are sitting. He made a line here. This side some students, that side some students. And then first student is coming here. I am walking, I am walking, I am walking, I am walking. He was going that side, making the sentence. When he is coming this side, all other students are there this side. You are walking, you are walking, you are walking. They were telling me that. And then two students have started here. We are walking, we are walking. And while coming back, they are walking, they are. देखो फर्स्ट पर्सन सेकंड पर्सन कुछ नहीं है इसमें, लेकिन सब बढ़िया बढ़िया सेंटेंसेस बताया बच्चों ने. वो स्कूल से उसको ट्रांसफर कर दिए हैं. एक भी टीचर पोस्ट नहीं हुआ उधर. 8 महीने के बाद हम गए थे. दैट इज द ब्यूटी ऑफ द. सो टीचर जब चाहता है टीच करने का होता है. जब दिल नहीं चाहता, दिल नहीं मांगता है तो कुछ नहीं मिलता है. बस इससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं. Next, tabulations and other things to be done, and then coming to the rating scales. Coming for the rating scales now. Yeah, rating scales are different from the attitude scales. Attitude scales, they measure the actual behavioral patterns, psychological patterns. And rating scales give the order to the particular item. That is the difference. An observer may be asked to judge the behavior. He observes and classifies into categories. While responding, he can give a numerical value to these rating scales. Rating scale refers to a scale set of points which describe everything, degrees of the dimensions of an attribute being observed. What is the attribute which is there? That is to be observed, and accordingly they have to. It takes a bit more time for you to understand these concepts, because attitude scales only mostly we use. Rating scale to some extent in some places we are using these rating scales. Now definition. Rating is a word applied to expression of your opinion or judgment regarding some situation, object or a character. You have to rate him. Opinions are usually expressed on a scale of values. For example, here the teachers are coming here, and so many teachers are teaching. If you are asked to scale them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. एक को 1 देंगे, एक को 5 देंगे, एक को 10 देंगे. So आपके हिसाब से rank order will be given, your judgment may be given. That's a rating scale. You are giving the rater and you are putting them in a rank. And Robert definition also there. They said nothing but it is a performance rubrics. Rubrics means that is actually a guide, a scoring guide, how it could be guided. Next, what is the purpose? Selection, evaluation and prediction of the teachers. इसके लिए इसको use करते हैं to assess the personality for various needs and to find out the reliability of professional tools. जो भी tool है उसका reliability के लिए इसको use करते हैं. The progress of the school, school का जो academic progress कैसा है और infrastructural progress कैसा है ऐसा कुछ लेके उसका प्रोग्रेस के बारे में इसमें से कर सकते हैं. It's called as a rubrics. And these are organized for the selection of the teachers, evaluation, prediction, assess the personality of various purposes. हो गया. Next. Various types of rating scales. 3 important types of rating scales are there: numerical scales, graphic scales, descriptive rating scales. These are all the 3 types of scales which you will come across. One is a numerical scales, means you give the numbers to them. Hence they are called as numerical scales. One, usually first Guilford has started and 1 to 11 he has given the numbers. Next. Here they have given 1 to 11. Most imaginable, mostly imaginable is actually given 10. 0 is mostly unimaginable. इतना है उसके बीच में. ठीक है. And the very simple rating scale in the sequence defined numbers is supplied to the rater. Every item there will be responses on the 5-point scale, 7-point scale or 10-point scale. We have to measure the skill of the student. Micro teaching, for example, you take. You have to make a micro teaching schedules are there. But here I don't know whether in many institutes they are not using the schedules. Just not simply they observe the things. You should have a schedule of that. When there is a schedule, each item, for example, if you are taking the probing questions, maybe there, stimulus variation, maybe there, examples may be there. So whether the examples are relevant examples, interesting examples, or a common examples, or irrelevant examples, they are, all the things will be there. You have to, for every 3 seconds, you have to put the tick there in a 5-point scale. These 5 points will be to be improved, less than average, average, more than average, very good. Based on this, and after that you can say whether he has to repeat the lesson or not to repeat the lesson. How we are telling it? Based on the schedule. Next. So Guilford uses the 11-point scale from 10 to 0. 10 means most pleasant imaginable. Our 0 is actually most pleasant unimaginable. Usually 0 will come indifferent, he has put at the 0.5. Usually 0 can be put there. From 0 to upper will be positive and lower will be negative. But Guilford said, if I put 0, I am breaking the whole scale into 2 parts. So it is not acceptable. That was his opinion only, Guilford's opinion. And in some scales, they put the Qs. Qs means they write in words, not in numbers. And the Qs may be very good, good, average, poor, very poor. Uske baad, after taking, they give the values to all these 5. That is another way. These scales are easy to construct and apply, but they have many biases. So, numerical scales instead of that, graphic scales are widely used by the researchers. Graphic scale is nothing but on a line, there will be, the line may be continuous or the line may be broken. And there you have to write here very good to the very poor. The 5-point scale, 7-point scale can be used. It is in the straight line, maybe horizontal or maybe vertical. And it may be segmented or continuous. Simple and easy to administer, easy to understandable, and it creates the interest among the respondents. Provide opportunity for fine discrimination. It takes more labor to construct the scale also. Next. Third type is standard scales. Here standard scales, very seldom you will use these scales. They fix the predetermined standard first. For example, you are going to judge about the handwriting of the persons. The specimen handwritings list will be there beforehand. Various handwriting, which is the best handwriting, next 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, like that. Based on that, you have to respond here in the equal, interval, equal appearing interval scales. These are all attitude scales developed by L.L. Thurston. He has developed these scales. So you have to judge in comparison with the standards already given. And here two techniques are used. Man-to-man scale used for the military purposes. Now they are not using much here. In the man-to-man scale, computer will be actually used there also. Second is portrait matching machines. Our technique can be used. In the portrait matching techniques, this is to study the character of an individual. This particular technique can be used. I think in the next classes they may explain these things, so that when time is consuming and I have to complete my things now. Right, next. Rating by the cumulative points. Okay, next. It's a unique method of scoring. Rating score object to the individual. Some two methods are here used. One is a checklist method, second is a guess who technique. One is a checklist method. Checklist method was actually developed by the Guilford. And Guilford says in the checklist method, instead of yes or no, you should give the multiple choice questions instead of yes or no. And here, approximately around 80 personality traits are enlisted. For example, cooperation is there, anger is there, jealousy is there. Like that, 80 personality traits are listed, and each one you have to take, and each student is to be actually judged through the rating scales. After that, you have to make the sum of that. One student's progress will be decided, his weightage after doing all this. It's a very cumbersome process. Second is a guess who technique. This is usually done by the children. And one child will be asked to rate other children. And here what he says, this is a man who is doing the works always for the benefit of the others. That is the statement they give. और अपने जो क्लास में है बच्चे, इतने बहुत बच्चे रहते हैं, इसमें इसका सुटेबल कौन है? At a very suitable man, थोड़ा suitable man, ऐसा उसको ग्रेडिंग करना है. So for each grading, 1 mark will be given to that particular boy. So total gradings will be added. Then that one student in the class, how much score he has actually got it, that should be the weightage of each one. This is what you call it as guess who technique, which is being used by Guilford and others. This is actually started in the Hartshorne and May. They have developed it, particularly for the child raters, and scales on the equal appearing interval scales. That's I have already told. It is a attitude scale. Next, forced choice ratings. In the forced choice ratings, they don't bother about whether this trait or not. They are not bothering it. How much this trait is there for the child, that you have to actually identify, and it should be done in the pairs. It is a bit complex one, which takes more time to explain. Here the rater is asked to say whether a ratee has a certain trait, or to say how much of a trait he has. Not whether he has a trait or not, it is immaterial. How much that is there, that is to be actually essentially he has to do it. And one trait should be paired with the another trait. Here actually tetrad is given by the Guilford here. In the tetrad, 4 answers will be given. In these 4 answers, one with a very high performance, one with a low performance, the pairing should be done here. It's a cumbersome process to be explained. Completely takes 1 hour for me. And what are the various errors are there in this one? When you prepare the all these scales, the error of leniency, the error of central tendency, the halo effect, logical error, contrast error, and the proximity error. Next. 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 So this is the apart from these errors, if the constructor attitude is not good, the questionnaire will be bad. If clarity is not there, then questionnaire will be not objective. And impact of the time, if you don't give proper time for each item, then after doing some 10-15 items, then he immediately put the ticks and give the paper back. Then impact of personality of the respondent as well as the constructor also play a vital role. Next, the error of leniency. Error of leniency means, for example, if I know well a particular boy, अभी आपने जो इवैल्यूएशन करते हैं ना क्लास में, यही होता है, लीनियंसी एरर होता है. अरे जिसको आप समझते हैं कि इंटेलिजेंट है, उसको तो 5 देने में तो 10 दे देंगे. Ego is involved in that one. और in a similar way, तब भी लेसन आप टीच करेंगे, उसके ओर देख के तुम करेगा, बाकी लोगों को छोड़ देगा. Right? And if you want to evaluate the paper, first you will take his paper and you will evaluate. This is a bias. This is an error which you are thinking that when he is known to you very well and he will be valued and his scoring will be more. And ego involved. When there is almost with the same ego persons, they will get good marks. Some individuals, if he is a positive leniency will be there. For example, if he feels some raters rate the individuals lower, willfully they don't want to give more marks. They always put them on the lower grade. It is a common tendency of the people. Third is, according to Guilford, when cues are given and you will be tempted to put good only, because you don't want to put bad and you don't want to become bad in his eyes. So therefore you put good only. Most of the teachers will put the marks like that. ज़्यादा नहीं देंगे, कम नहीं देंगे, वो पास मार्क दे देंगे. No complaint. Next. This is a method of central tendency. हमने तो 5 दिए हैं इधर, और तुम्हारा आई के सेंटर में चले जाएगा, एकदम सेंटर में जाएगा इसमें तो. And they want to settle at the middle of the scale. Very good. And उसके बाद excellent, very good, good, bad, very bad. क्या देना है आपको? अरे गुड दे दो. इधर उधर क्या सोचना है, गुड दे दो. इसीलिए C will be the mostly people put it. How to overcome this? In the extremes, whatever you are giving it, that is what how to counteract this cues at the end should have a what you call more complexity. If you use at the ender cues, then obviously this problem could be overcome. Then the halo effect. Halo effect means already you opine a particular thing. When you come to the class, you will have a halo effect. ओ ये अच्छा पढ़ता है, शक्ल से देख के हमको पता चल गया. अच्छा पढ़ता है नहीं पढ़ता है वो मालूम नहीं हमको, लेकिन शक्ल से हाँ एक्शन होता है, ये एक्शन के ओर से हम सोचते हैं कि ये अच्छा, इसीलिए उसके ऊपर ध्यान हमारा चले जाता है. This is what you call it as a halo effect. The first of all, it was identified by the Wells, and the name was actually given by E.L. Thorndike. And the teacher looks at a boy whom he feels intelligent, and he also evaluates his paper only first. Again, this is a what you call the same impression will continuously goes on unless it is proved he is a idiot. तब ये change होता है, तब तक ये change नहीं होता. Next, the logical error. It was first Newcomb in the year 1931 he has developed it, and it is due to that judges are likely to give similar rating. though almost they are looking similar, then obviously your rating will be same. So it is a logical error. Next. It is a contrast error. When the paper read others, the opposite direction from the, for example, if I am positive thinker, and there you are asked, what about the student is a positive, means we put him lesser than my personality. Generally, because I don't agree whether I am very good at, I don't give very good, because the respondent put him at the lower. That's a contrast error which you call it as. So the opposite direction from the self in a trait. Next. Proximity error. The questions which are nearby having an influence on the rate. This is what you call is that very near, what you call near, and the intercorrelations between the questions 3 and 4 or 8 and 9, they have a clear-cut impact. So therefore, Bissell in the year 1949, he has identified this particular thing. Yes. Next, how to improve these things? Important from the educational point of view, all these things are. So we have to define important traits should be defined, and the technical words must be reduced. If necessary, local language can be used here. Responses must be determined by the level of discriminations, so on and so forth. Next, these are all the advantages. More flexibility and adaptability, and it's a good tool in the hands of the teacher. More effective and the cost effective also, and it is helpful to reduce the subjectivity and reliability which you found in the observation in the interview. Limitations. It is difficult to give the priority to various items. Very difficult it is. And the subjectivity also will be there in the preparation. And the leniency error, we cannot get the desired results because of this leniency errors, and the students get very opportunities to respond to rating scales. So rating scales are used at times, but our survey research mostly use the Likert technique scales only, attitude scales only we are using. Your psychosocial, psychosociological, all these things which you told, everywhere that Likert type of technique is being used. Next is attitude. What do you mean by attitude? Why can? What do you mean by attitude? हाँ? क्या इसका एक्सप्लेन करो, क्या है एटीट्यूड का मतलब क्या है?
One type of body language, sir.
हाँ?
One type of body language.
Attitude is not a body language.
thinking सोचने का तरीका।
हाँ?
किसी भी विषय के प्रति रुझान उसका कैसा?
अच्छा, किसी के चीज के ऊपर और प्लेस के ऊपर और सिचुएशन के ऊपर आपका ओपिनियन, आपका ओपिनियन, राइट? Is attitude positive or negative?
Both.
It may be. Sir, question for you: is marriage good or bad? Give me an answer.
Always good.
Marriage is always good. Are you married? So marriage is good for you. Okay, there. Because at some other fellows, anybody says marriage is bad? अभी कोई नहीं बोल रहा है. So some people will say, is marriage is nothing but it is a contract between the man and the woman. Sexual contract. And some people will say, who are actually misogynists. In English, the exact word to describe. Misogynist, who hates women. They're called as misogynists. They're iconoclastic. What are the traditions, customs? It's all nonsense, which they speak like that. Do you think that is family a good institution or not? It's a good institution. All right.
Yes.
Is your husband you should treat like a god? आप बताओ. अब ये सब तो ठीक है, अभी तो ऐसा हो गया। अभी तो अपना जो शास्त्र में तो लिखा हुआ है, नहीं करेंगे, नहीं करेंगे, परिवर्तन आ गया है उसमें। तो इसके मतलब है कि यू कैन रेट द थिंग either positively or negatively. That is attitude. Are attitudes born from the beginning of the life?
No.
No. अभी आप सब लोग बोले हैं कि मैरिज इज गुड। अरे 40 साल आने के बाद इतना सताएगी आपकी बीबी, अरे ये करो, वो करो, इतना करो, उतना करो। ठीक, unnecessarily I married to the people. All bachelors are very fine. So, with time advancement, your opinion will change. So, attitudes are changeable from time to time, place to place, person to person. For the same person with the different angles, your attitude will be different. Am I right or not? So now the question is, attitude is a very important thing for the growth and development of an individual. I will give you in the management classes, usually will give cognitive development, effective development, and third is psychomotor development. So the attitude comes to which development? Is it a cognitive, is it effective, or it is psychomotor? Huh? Knowledge. ये कहाँ से आता है? It is a cognitive one. And the skill, it is psychomotor. Attitude, this is affective. Now, I will give you a small exercise. A for 1, B for 2, C for 3, D for 4, E for 5. वो knowledge लिखा हो ना, substitute all these things with the corresponding values. जल्दी करो. 11. अरे यार K का K. What is the number of K?
11.
K is 11. N. N को भी लिखना है आपको. 14. लिखो. ये सब लिखने के बाद K is 11. A B C D E F G H I. हाँ. J K. K का 11 आ रहा है. N का 14 आ रहा है. And O का 15 आ रहा है. अभी ऐसा नंबर दे दो सबको. सबका नंबर दे दो. Quick. हो गया. पहले ABCD अपने जेट लिखो, उसके ऊपर नंबर दे दो. इमीडिएटली यू substitute these numbers. Quick. What's the total coming? अरे हम तो मैथमेटिक्स स्टूडेंट्स हैं, हम तो संस्कृत स्टूडेंट्स हैं, बोलते हैं क्या?
संस्कृत में इलेक्ट्रिकल गिनेंगे. काका गाय.
96 approximately, it's coming 96. What about skill? What about skill? So here, three things I have given. One is the knowledge, one is the attitude, one is the skill. Which is most important? Which is most important? Skill is more important. Very good. Next.
Skill 63.
Okay. Which is more important? Skill is more important. और कोई आंसर है?
Knowledge.
Knowledge is more important. Very good. And और कोई आंसर है? Let us see which is more important. Attitude. इसका लिखो. इसका टोटल करो. It's coming
100.
100. So if you want 100% success in your life, you should have a positive attitude. That's all. There's no other goal. But you said skill, 63 only. So affective domain plays a very vital role. Can anybody say another one word in English language is there whose total is 100? It is discipline. If you have a positive attitude, if you are disciplined, nobody can stop you from becoming a successful man in the life. These are all the two techniques which all successful people common to them. The 7 Habits of Effective Speaking is a wonderful book which was written. ठीक है? और 2 things है. One is indolence. Indolence means laziness. Second is procrastination. अरे यार बात नहीं करेंगे, कल से कर देंगे हम, जब वो कल कभी नहीं आता. These 2 things we are habituated, and that's the reason why we are coming down. That's the reason where Winston Churchill rightly says, educating the men in mind, not in morals, is educating a menace to the society. So attitudes play a very vital role in the life of a man. Don't think that you can change your attitude. Even now, you can change your attitude. Professor William James, the professor of Harvard University, and also one of the profounders of the pragmatic philosophical thought, and also the father of functional psychology, and who has rightly said, the greatest discovery of my life is that human beings can alter their lives. Human beings can alter their lives by altering the attitudes of their minds. So attitude must be changed. When you change the attitude, obviously everything will look positive. You can see good in others, and you have an enthusiasm, and you will have a wonderful energy, and you think positively, you will be the winner. You will be the winner. So the foundation of success of any individual is a right attitude. That's very much required. If you have a right attitude, you will become the winner of that, not the loser. Winners are those who always with the team. Losers are always apart from the team. A winner is an answer to the question, but a loser is a question to the answer. A winner always sees the gain in any work. A loser will see the pain in any work. A winner works like a thermostat which gives the heat. A loser is like a thermometer. Sir, ye acha nahi hai, wo acha nahi hai, ye acha. Ye always. A winner never complains. A loser spends his time at the complaining counters. A winner uses soft words and hard arguments. A loser uses hard words and soft arguments. To be frank and fair, I will conclude this one. A winner always sees the whole vada. The loser will see hole in the vada. That is the only difference. Okay. So, my dear friends, always try to see the thing as a whole, not the holes in the things. So therefore, attitudes will play a very, very vital role in the lives of the people. Right? They can overcome the things and the energy will flow in the individuals when you adopt it. Next. What is an attitude? It is called an opinion scale also, we can call them. An inquiry form that attempts to assess attitude or belief of an individual is known as an attitude scale. It is a Thurston, actually he has developed one scale, Likert has developed another scale, and defines the attitude as the degree of positive or negative effect associated with some psychological objects. That's what you call it as a attitude. Next. And the concept of attitude, according to him, denotes the sum total of man's inclinations towards feelings, prejudices, bias, preconceived notions, ideas, fears, threats, so on and so forth. Right. 3 assumptions on which the attitude scales are actually constructed. One scale is the scale should deal with the controversial questions. Based on that, these scales are developed. An individual's feelings and insights regards to the question will determine the responses and which give the pro and con. And the statements can be scaled regarding the degree to which they favor or opposite to a question under consideration. Right? Next. Types of attitude scales. And there are 2 important attitude scales. One is a method of equal appearing interval scales developed by L.L. Thurston. Second is the method of summative ratings developed by Likert. And in the method, the scales are developed using these scaling techniques consist of a number of carefully edited items, and Thurston and Chow, these are 2 people who have been given the things to kept in mind while making the initial list of the statements. First of all, you have to make so many 100, 200, 300 items or statements are to be made by your experience, by referring the books, by consulting the research workers, by you have to consult with the experts. Next. So avoid these statements. Past, not the past. Leave the past is dead. Future is yet to born. Why do you lament when the day is full of delight? Umar Khayyam says. Right? So, past things should not be written here. And factual are capable of being interpreted, the factual may be interpreted more than one way and are irrelevant to psychological object under consideration. Next. Statements which should be believed to be convert the entire range of effective scales, simple, clear and direct, having only one complete thought. Ambiguity should be avoided, should not use the words such as always, none, never, no. This kind of words should be avoided, and simple sentences are to be used, and don't use double negatives at any place. Next. Method of equal appearing scale. First of all, here the statement giving this psychological object, the scales measures the agree to disagree. That is the range with these scales are being measured. Next. This is, go back. This is, there are steps, more or less both are having the same steps. Collecting and editing the information. Collect the information, as I told you. Collect it from the literature, collect it from the experts, collect it from the research workers, and collect it from the abstracts and your own opinions. Everything, you make a list of 500, 600 items are to be prepared. After that, edit them with the help of some experts. Then scoring procedure. So here, Thurston, what he did is 130 statements he has taken overall. He has given them to the 300 judges. He has given them. And they have to categorize them into 11 piles he has made. Each question is written on a card, and he has to put pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4 or 5, 6. They are in a continuum. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So which category that falls, one judge has to put. Second judge has to, again, he will be given put. So how many are coming in each file? Like that they have actually weightages were calculated by him and give a law. And some people after that they said there is no need for giving 300, 500 judges and doing it. Maximum is 15 judges are sufficient to do, or less than that is enough. Next. Each judge is informed about the purpose and asked to classify. And when you put a card, there is a procedure also. You have to hold the card with the left hand, and after that put the pile here, and then you have to put it. There is a one system is actually evolved there, and this is done by printing on a card, which I told you. All the 11 players they put that one. Some researchers use rating instead of piling, and selection of statements for the final scale. Then they make the selection for the final scale. Next. And here they find out the Q value. Q value will be actually calculated with the Q3 minus Q1. That means mean value they are getting it. Your quartile deviation you are getting it Q3 minus Q1 by 2. Like that Q value is to be calculated, and they have used the 9-point scale, and when you use the 9-point scale, the maximum it has come to 2.0 and the average is about 1.5. It's coming like that. The median scale values indicate the spread of the statements in the scale continuum. They are spreading from 1 to 9. And the final form of the scales then constructed by the selecting 30 to 35. 130 questions he has given, and at last 30 to 35 questions only finalized. Next. Reliability and validity. Both are actually used the split off method for this one. And here for validity was done with the correlating the average attitude scales already obtained by finding the mean of the scale values. But in the summated ratings, it's a bit different. Now, this method was developed by Likert in 19. This only mostly we are using this Likert scale only for our research purpose. And it is only a 5-point scale. And here, same thing was tested with a Thurston scale, with a Likert scale. And after that they got the values, and both the values were actually found out with the rank difference method. They found it, and after that the coefficient of correlation was calculated, and they got plus 0.92. That means both are working the same way. Then why to go for Likert method instead of equal appearing scale? That's the question now. But the method is simpler, so people are now using it. And to construct comparatively, you see, for Likert technique, if you take 1 hour to finish, and it takes 2 hours for the Thurston scale to prepare. And in a similar way, and next. Steps involved in the construction for this, collecting the data, same way what Thurston has done, tryout. For 200 subjects he has taken, and he has given the sample. We are, same procedure we are following to the sample we are taking and giving the questions, and positive and negative questions more or less will be equal here. And for a positive question 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is the weightage. For a negative questions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the weightage we are giving it. Next. And after that we are preparing this final report. Item analysis will make it, and with the, there he has not done the item analysis, but here item analysis will make and remove some of the things here. Those who are having 1.75 equal or more than that, they are to be removed. And here the analysis is made how they put in the order. Top 25% they will take, and the low 25% they will take. And they find the item analysis for that. In the item analysis, if the value comes more than 1.75 or equal to 175, they will be kept and remaining things will be removed. And then, doing like this, around 20 to 25 items only kept there. Next, reliability and the validity. Here also split-off method only used for validity scales, comparing them with the older scales. But there he has used a correlational method to find out the validity with the already established scales. Here older scales and also correlating the results with the actual behavior. Next, advantages. They have a stronger role in the individual success of a job or activity. They provide the necessary information to the teacher about the pupil's attitude, and from attitude scales the teacher and the guidance worker can know and understand the pupils individually. They are employed to identify to extent to which positive and desirable attitude offers potent possibilities. Next, limitations. Because real attitude, getting it is very difficult. Because attitude, they don't express everything, and individual may not know how feels about a social issue. Sometimes they don't give the reply. Even if you don't like marriage system, but you say marriage is good. Because others will disapprove you. Others may think in a different way about you, so that you don't come out with the right answers. The individual may not be able to express the attitude towards a situation in abstract. Analysis and interpretation of the attitude scales is also difficult. Differences between rating scales and attitude scales. So attitude scales are measured through self-reporting, direct observations, storytellings, and performance tests. And here, ranking scales use it to measure how value based on how an individual will rank order of the objects or a criterion or any other. Here their behavior will be given. For the behavior, they give the rank order to them. That is the only difference. Now yesterday, by this we can conclude this. Yesterday some questions were asked to me about what is a research proposal and what is actually research synopsis. Number one, introduction. Very brief introduction you will give in the research proposal. Here, all the aspects which are there in the introduction, in a vast way you have to give the introduction. Next, area of interest. Once you finalize the area, you mention there, and here area is already finalized by them. Next is review of the literature. Only limited review will make, based on that you arrive at the topic. But here, extensive review of the literature is to be made in the research synopsis, around 60 to 70, 80 based on the need. Next is statement of the problem. Goal of the study only you write, and extensively you have to write. Here also goal of the study is to be written. And next is need and significance. You will elaborately write. Here also need and significance, elaborately you will write it. Operational definitions. Here also you have to spell out the operational definitions. There also you have to give them in detail. And objectives of the study. Briefly write the main objectives of the study. Here, as many as possible. Here only important objectives which we will give in the research proposal. And testing of hypothesis, it will not be done in the research proposal. And all hypotheses are to be framed, and they should be tested, and whether they are accepted or rejected, it will be obviously recorded there. And variables of the study, just they mention the variables. Here, what are the variables, and what is the relationships, what are the demographic variables, and how the sample is distributed among them. Everything will be in the third chapter, usually methodology. We are going to describe about them. And in the methodology, research design of mention, population, what is the population you are taking, what is the sampling you are taking, what kind of sampling technique you want to actually adopt, that's all, to be adopted. Here, you have to elaborately write it, and how you have actually done it, the sampling technique was used, and gender-wise. If it is a random stratified sampling, how you have made the strata, and accordingly you have to describe here. Tools, just you mention the tools, and here you can adopt the tools, and for research thesis, at least one tool must be constructed and developed and standardized by the researcher. And then statistical analysis, just you mention some which are, that may be enhanced later. But here very clearly you have to mention whether you are using T-scores or the Z-scores or the chi-square test, or you are going rank difference method you are doing it, or Pearson's product movement method you are using, or ANOVA you are using. Very clearly you have to, everything you have to spell out in the research hypothesis. Next, findings and results. Is yet to do with it. But here you have to clearly write out the findings and other things. Summary and conclusions. बाद में करना है इसको. Summarize the whole work and makes the conclusions. Implications of the study. If you want, you can write it briefly about the implication. Because unless you have a result, you cannot make the implications. And then comparing with the literature survey. At the end, what literature survey said and what is your result? Whether it is coincide with the people or not. It should be written here at the end. And chapterization. Here you mention the chapterization. Here the chapters already written by the people. And budget. Here there is no question of writing about the budget. And here the reference books and bibliography, both the things should be written here. And what you call time schedule, already it is completed. Therefore, there is no question of a time schedule to be written. Okay. And these are all the some differences.
In these two left over as far as my knowledge. Sir, one is research questions is not there.
That we can improve some other.
Research questions is not there. And one more is left over, that is research design.
That's in the methodology it will come. They can mention that one. Research design, research questions and all. That can be added. So my dear friends, this is briefly,
Thank you very much.
one of our friend has asked me to explain for your benefit.
Yes.
Right? Not for him. Whatever he is asking for the benefit of yours only. And let me conclude this session because a little bit faster I have went there because lack of time already it is getting 6:30. So therefore I went away and I conclude this session by giving a small illustration. One day one boy went to the beach and there is another boy, another man who is selling the balloons there. And he saw balloons are flying very high. He wanted one. Then immediately he went to that particular seller and he tugged his jacket. Then he turned back. Then he asked, "What is my son? What do you want? Do you want balloon?" "Uncle, I have seen red balloon is going high. Blue balloon is going high. Yellow balloon is going high. Can you make a black balloon to go to that height?" With a great anxiety he has asked. Then moved with the concern of the boy. The seller told, my dear boy, it is not the balloon which is going to the height. The matter which is inside the balloon, that is hydrogen or helium, is making it to go to the greater heights and reaching there. The attitude is a powerful helium. When you fill that one, and nobody can stop you from going to the greater heights in your life. That is the lesson which you are supposed to learn. So, thank you very much for bearing me more than
pleasure.
6-7 hours. You listened to me, both yesterday and today together, and for which I will be thankful to you all. And it is a privilege for me to have an interaction and learn so many things from you, as well as sharing my thoughts. And I am greatly indebted to Professor Venkatrao, who has given me this opportunity to come over here and have an interaction, and Chandrasekhar, who was also, whatever program is there, Usually they're all inviting me with my little knowledge, with my humbleness. I feel I tried my best to explain to the students and motivate them. That was the ultimate aim is the purpose of the workshop should be glorified. With that idea only he has started this, spending very huge amounts. He has invited all the people and he has to face so many problems also. There's no doubt in it. Organization is one hand and facing the problems is second hand. But despite all these things, Venkatrao has come forward and taking this as a challenge and did it and on behalf of the stage, on behalf of you, and I really appreciate Professor Rao for organizing such a wonderful workshop and calling the people from various corners of India. And it is a great pleasure for me and thank you very much. 25 to 25 ఎందుకున్నా 50 నిమిషాలు
ज्ञानानंदमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविज्ञानां हयग्रीवम् उपास्महे. All of you, good evening. On behalf of a 2-week national workshop on educational research methodology in our National Sanskrit University, I expected and I extend heartfelt gratitude to Professor KVSN Murthy sir. And really, sir, you have been given a good knowledge, wisdom of knowledge to us, and your participation and contribution and your support, wonderful. And we are expertise and enthusiasm for your sessions, sir, from 3 days. Why? Because you have been explaining a lucid way a different topics also, and we are getting wonderful knowledge, and you made significant knowledge to us, sir. Thank you once again. And in service teacher education director Professor Venkatrao sir, I gratitude to sir, and as well as Professor Chandrasekhar sir, I thanks to you, sir, and after dais who seated in front of dais, them also I thankful you once again. Thank you.
सभायै यथा अस्माकं विद्यावारिधि छात्रेण उक्तं किञ्चित् अहमपि महोदयस्य विषये वक्तुमिच्छामि. दिनत्रयं वयं दृष्टवन्तः आचार्याणां व्याख्यानं. तद् अस्माकं कृते आदर्शनीयमस्ति. यतोहि तत्र अभिनयेन बहूनि उदाहरणानि दत्वा विषयं कथं सरलतया सुलभतया अस्माकं कृते अवबोधितवन्तः. एते आचार्याः बहु परिश्रमं कृत्वा पीपीटी पश्यन्तु नेक्स्ट इति कियान् विषयं तत्र संक्षेपेण अस्माकं कृते अल्पे समये बोधितवन्तः. अतः पुनरेकवारं सर्वेषां पक्षतः करतालनेन धन्यवादं महोदयः. प्रायः सर्वेपि जानन्ति सेवानिवृत्ताः, तदानीमपि तेषाम् ऊर्जां पश्यन्तु. यथा प्रथमदिने अस्ति तदा इदानीमपि तेषाम् ऊर्जा वर्तते. तद्वत् अस्माभिरपि जीवने महोदयानाम् अनुसरणं कृत्वा तद्वदेव छात्राणां प्रेरणाविषये भवतु, विकासविषये चिन्तनीयम्. आचार्याणाम् आदर्शं स्वीकुर्मः चेत् सम्यक् भवति इति मम आशयः. एवमेव महोदयस्य विषयस्य प्रतिपादनमपि क्रमशः एकमेकम् अंशं पश्यतु डीप्लि अस्माकं कृते अवबोधितवन्तः. एवमेव आचार्याणां सर्वेषां पक्षतः, विश्वविद्यालयं पक्षतः, कार्यशालायाः पक्षतः, सर्वेषां पक्षतः हार्दान् धन्यवादान् प्रकटीकरोमि. एवमेव प्रतिवर्षं यदा कदापि अस्माकं कृते कार्यक्रमाः भवन्ति तत्र आगच्छन्तु, अस्मान् प्रेरयन्तु। एवमेव भगवन्तमपि वयं सर्वे प्रार्थयामः भवतां शतायुः भवतु इति। यतोहि पूर्वस्यां कार्यशालायामपि एते आचार्याः आगतवन्तः, तदानीमपि एवमेव अस्मान् उत्तमोत्तमविषयान् उक्त्वा प्रेरितवन्तः। वयं धन्याः, एतादृशाः आचार्याः अस्माकं कृते लब्धाः। एतादृशानाम् आचार्याणाम् आह्वानम् एतैः अस्माकं निदेशकमहोदयैः, संयोजकमहोदयैः उत्तमोत्तम आचार्याणाम् अन्वेषणं कृत्वा अस्माकं कृते आनीतवन्तः। एतेभ्यः अपि हार्दान् धन्यवादान्। इदानीं कार्यशालायाः अस्मिन् अन्ते तृतीयदिनस्य अन्तिमसत्रं समाप्तं जातम्। अनन्तरं महोदयस्य सम्माननं भविष्यति। अतः आचार्यं प्रार्थयामि मञ्चस्य उपरि आगच्छन्तु। कृपया लघु सम्मानम् अस्माभिः क्रियते करतालनेन। एवं संयोजकमहोदयाः, अन्येपि अध्यापकाः अस्माकं शिक्षाविभागीयाः सन्ति, किञ्चित् उपरि आगच्छन्तु। सर्वे मिलित्वा आचार्याणां सम्माननं कुर्मः। एवं विद्याधरमहोदयः, असिस्टेण्ट् प्रोफेसर् ये सन्ति आचार्याः आगच्छन्तु, आगच्छन्तु भवन्तः।
अस्माकं सर्वेषां गौरवं भवति।
दत्तात्रेय महोदय आगच्छन्तु, आगच्छन्तु। करतालनं सम्यक् उच्चैः करतालनं कुर्वन्तु। महोदयस्य भाषणसमये सम्यक् हास्यमपि आसीत्, विषयप्रतिपादनं सम्यक् कृतवन्तः। इदानीं सम्यक् करतालनमपि कुर्वन्तु।
చాలా దూరం పెడతారు సార్, ఇది టేబుల్ మీద పెడతారు గ్యారెంటీ. సర్వే अनन्तरं सर् सर् निरूपणं सर्वे अध्यापकाः आगच्छन्तु, अनन्तरं छात्राः।
वेरि गुड्, वेरि गुड्।
आगच्छन्तु, इदानीम् आगच्छति मुख्यम्मा।
ओके
नेक्स्ट बालिका आचार्य सिद्धिराजे विद्यावारिधि।
शीघ्रम् आगन्तव्यम्।
आगच्छति।
अत्र एका बालिका आगता।
ओके सर।
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्।